Hello everyone, this is Melissa Medeiros. I will be presenting today information specifically for our newly admitted and certified students who will be joining us in the fall. I want to welcome you all and congratulate you on your admission to USC. I'm so excited to have you with us and really glad that you'll be joining us in the Aerospace Mechanical Engineering Department. So let's get started. I will do a brief welcome to USC. I'll review important dates and deadlines. I'll outline the different degree requirements for each of our 8 master's programs, and then go over important AME department policies, procedures, and tips. So welcome to AME in USC. I, again, am Melissa Medeiros. I will be your academic advisor for the duration of your master's program. I also serve as kind of a main point of contact for many students, whether it's academic or non-academic. If I don't know the answer, I certainly will help you try and find it. We have approximately 350 master's students within AME. We have one of the larger DIN populations, so these are your online counterparts that will be taking courses online. We have approximately 150 DIN students, around 90 PhD students, and over 400 undergrads. Relatively speaking, we're probably one of the smaller engineering departments here at USC, but I feel like this really provides for a close-knit community and really an individualized experience. I'm able to meet and talk with each and every one of you, which I think is a really big benefit. I'm available via phone, email, video chat, and of course in person. I'm trying to respond as quickly as possible to your emails, but sometimes a phone call might be better if it's a little bit more tricky situation. But I try and be available as much as possible to you all. I'm here Monday through Friday, 9 to 12, and 2 to 4 p.m. Pacific Coast time. I'd want to go over the university calendar for the fall. Starting today, June 1st, newly domestic students will be able to begin registering for classes. Our international students will begin registering in August once they arrive to campus and complete passport verification. If you're an international student watching this today, all of the information is going to be useful, and it will be good to help you prepare for which courses you will register for starting in August once you arrive to USC. I want to highlight that August 19th is the last day to register and pay without a late fee. So if you register after this date, or if you don't pay your bill, you will receive a $100 late fee. You will continue to accrue this fee every Friday until your bill is paid. So you definitely want to make sure that you're registered by this date and that your bill is paid. September 9th is going to be the single most important date to remember. I highly encourage you to mark your calendars. This is what we call the add drop deadline. So the add deadline means it's the last day to add a class, register, or swap your courses. So adding any new course has to be done by this date. It's also the drop deadline, which means that if you decide to drop a class, this is the final deadline to receive a refund. After this date, there will be no refund. There's still going to be opportunities for you to drop later on in the semester, but September 9th is the last day you will receive a full refund for the class. So if you're thinking of registering for 3 classes and possibly dropping down to just 2, you want to make sure that it's done by this date. That way you get all of the money back for that 3rd class. This is also the date to show proof of health insurance in order to waive the student health insurance. Students are automatically enrolled in health insurance if they're enrolled in 6 or more units. So if you have your own health insurance, you work, your parents have health insurance, make sure that you waive it by this deadline. This is also the pass, no pass deadline, but really as master's students, you shouldn't be taking any courses as pass, no pass. You should consult me first if you're thinking of taking courses, pass, no pass, or audit. And lastly, it's the deadline to waive out of the tuition refund insurance plan. You're automatically enrolled. It costs about a little under $6 a unit every semester, and you can opt out on web registration. There's a button at the top called My Try, so My Tuition Refund Insurance. Tuition refund insurance provides students who experience legitimate medical emergencies such as illness or injury a full refund if they must drop all of their courses in a semester. So while we hope that you never have to use it, it definitely is a nice safeguard just in case, you never know. But you can opt out of it. So I highly encourage you to get registered before August 19th to set up all of your courses and take care of all of your billing before the last day for late fees. You will be able to register between August 19th and September 9th, but just be aware that you will accrue a late fee in between those two times. Next, October 7th is the last day to drop a course without a mark of a W on your transcript. Again, since we're past the September 9th deadline, you will not receive a refund, but there will be no W on your transcript, which is a good thing. Between October 7th and November 11th is when you're able to drop with a W. So again, still no refund, but it will not appear on your transcripts. We understand that things come up, and that's why we have the extended drop deadlines. The W does not count towards your GPA, and is a good option if you don't think you'll be able to bring your grade up to at least a C. Anything less than a C will not count towards your degree and will significantly impact your GPA. So contact me if you are having any issues in your courses, and to discuss your options. November 11th is the absolute last day to drop a class with a W on your transcript. Anything after that means that you're essentially stuck in the class with whatever grade you're on track to get. So, being aware of these drop deadlines is really important, and I will continue to send out reminders throughout the semester. Final exams are December 7th through 14th. We break for winter session from December 15th through January 8th, and then spring classes start right back up on January 9th. So next I will review each of the 8 master's programs in the department. I will cover each of them in this order so you can skip forward when I'm covering a major different than your own. So first up is the Master's of Science in Mechanical Engineering, MSME. Majority of our students are either in the ME or AE majors. I will cover the degree requirements without thesis. Only about 1% of our total student population decide to move forward with a thesis, and I'll talk a little bit about thesis and research a little bit later. The MSME requires 27 units, AME 525 and 526. These are going to be your only required courses for the program. And then you have 12 units of AME coursework. Ideally, this will come from your unofficial specialization, and 9 units of approved 400 or 500 level elective courses. No more than 3 courses can be from outside the department, and no more than 9 units at the 400 level can be applied towards the degree. You need a 3.0 GPA overall to graduate. You need at least a C grade in order for the class to count towards your degree. If you get a grade of a C, that's perfectly fine, but you definitely will need to make sure that you offset that with B pluses and A's in order to reach that 3.0 overall when you complete your program. Most of our classes are 3 units, so you will need 9 classes in order to graduate. Of the 2 required courses, the applied mathematics classes, AME 525, that one covers linear algebra and complex variables. AME 526 covers partial differential equations. Again, these are your only hard requirements that you must take. They're strict requirements. We do not waive them. And they can be 2 of our more challenging classes, so we definitely don't recommend that you take them in the same semester. We recommend that you take them in separate semesters. They're offered every fall, spring, and summer. To supplement these required courses, you have 12 units of elective coursework that ideally will come from one of your unofficial specializations. So we have 5 unofficial specializations for the MSME. Specializations help focus your degree and give you the flexibility to tailor the degree to fit your interest or your future career goals. We offer recommended courses for each of them, but again, they are not required. They're just recommended because it's not an official specialization. You can take all of the courses that we've outlined as recommendations. You can take some of them and, supplement in maybe a different specialization. Some students might do a combination of 1 or 2 areas. So For example, we have students that are interested in thermal fluid sciences who might supplement with energy, or we have students that are interested in design who might supplement with controls or materials. So as long as it creates a comprehensive program, we're perfectly fine with that, but there are no required courses for the unofficial specializations. You do not have to formally choose one. And since they're unofficial, they will not appear in your transcripts or your diploma. You still will have to articulate your experience, your expertise, when you're meeting with employers by highlighting the coursework that you took. For the fall, in the Thermal and Fluid Sciences, we'll be offering AME 513, AME 530, and AME 535A. AME 535A has recommended prep of AME 526. Recommended prep means that our faculty have identified that particular course as critical to the success in the subsequent course, but it will not restrict you from registering. So, we always recommend that students are mindful of the recommended prep because it's there for a reason, but due to scheduling, sometimes you may not always be able to abide by that. But if you can help it, definitely take 526 before 535A. A prereq means that the designated course must be completed prior to getting approval to take the course. So if you've taken a prerequisite outside of USC, you will need to contact me directly to have that prerequisite waived, and I'll review that a little bit later on in the presentation. For Dynamics and Controls, we have AME 451, which is a Linear Control Systems 1 course. If you have not taken any linear controls in your undergrad, you're certainly able to take 451. If you've already taken a linear systems course in undergrad, then you would be able to move on straight to 541. And again, you'll just have to have that prerequisite lifted through me. Other courses, AME 521, AME 522, AME 524, and AME 541. AME 451 and 541 both require a lecture and a lab, so be sure that you add both the lecture and the lab to your course bin before attempting to register. For the design track, we have AME 404, AME 451, AME 503. It is currently full now. We are in the talks about possibly being able to offer 503 in the spring. I'll be submitting more information about that later once it's finalized. If not, definitely plan to take it either the following summer or the following fall. AME 541, ASTE 520, CE 529A. CE 529A is offered through the Civil Engineering Department. It's Finite Element Analysis, which is a really popular course for our mechanical engineering students. So you'll see that it's listed as a recommended course for many of the different specializations. So that definitely might be a good choice for you. And then SAE 549. For mechanics and materials, we have AME 588, CE 507, CE 529A, Material Science 534, and Material Science 551. Material Science 551 is a good foundational course for students who are interested in materials. Next, we have energy. This fall, we'll be offering AME 430, AME 513, AME 578, AME 581, which is nuclear engineering, E&E 505, and SAE 515. SAE 515 is sustainable infrastructure systems. It's a really popular course for students who have either an unofficial specialization here with the MSME or for students who are doing our technical degree, mechanical engineering, energy conversion. Next, we have the Master's of Science in Aerospace Engineering, our MSAE. This has identical requirements as the MSME, 6 unofficial specializations. The specializations do not appear on your diploma or transcripts. It will only read Master's of Science in Aerospace Engineering. This degree has 27 units. AME 525 and 526 are the only 2 required courses for the program. 12 units of AME coursework, which ideally should come from your specialization areas, and 9 units of approved 400 or 500 elective coursework. No more than 3 courses from outside the department can be used, and no more than 9 units at the 400 level can be applied towards the degree. Your AME coursework should ideally come from one or two of our unofficial specialization areas. Since the specializations are considered unofficial, the courses that we outline are just recommended. You're not required to take all of them. Some students might supplement between two different areas to create kind of their own emphasis, but since they're unofficial specializations, you won't have to formally select one with me, but it will give you a good opportunity to help focus your degree, help tailor it to meet your either career or future academic needs. For aerospace control, we'll be offering AME 451 and AME 541. If you've already completed a linear controls course in your undergrad, please contact me so I can lift the prerequisite and you can go on to 541. Aerospace design, AME 408 is a really popular class because it is taken by both our undergrad and our graduate students. It's computer-aided systems and design. So you must know SolidWorks. It's a very hard prerequisite for this course. Not only do you have to know strength of materials, you must show evidence that you've taken a formal class in SolidWorks, CATIA, Unigraphics, something like that. AutoCAD packages cannot be used to fulfill this particular prerequisite requirement. Other classes in the design, AME 502 and ASTE 520. You can also consider classes from the MSME design specialization. For structures, we have AME 521, CE 507, CE 529A, and CE 541A. For the computational fluid dynamics, aerodynamics, and propulsion tracks, you'll see that there's a lot of overlap in these three areas. So typically students will pick classes from all three areas and kind of do a combination of a specialization in CFD. So we are offering AME 530A, AME 535A, which has recommended prep of 526, AME 513, ASTE 470, and Chemical Engineering 530. So next I will review the program requirements for our specialized programs. We have 5 niche programs or technical degrees, which are highly focused in a particular area. So here we have the Masters of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Energy Conversion. Your diploma will read Masters of Science in Mechanical Engineering, and your transcripts will have the full title, which designates the energy conversion emphasis. Because of the official emphasis, the program is very strict. So it requires 27 units. You have 7 required courses and 2 electives from an approved list. You're also given the opportunity to take electives from the Sustainable Infrastructure Systems majors. You can use the link to see all the majors and courses listed there. Highly recommend getting your required courses out of the way before starting on your electives. With 7 required courses, you want to make sure that you are planning all of your courses appropriately to make sure that you're not prolonging graduation by missing out on any of those required courses first. We do have MSME students who take courses from the energy conversion program to kind of create their own energy emphasis, but while also enjoying the flexibility of the general mechanical engineering program. So it is possible for you to switch if you are starting off as energy conversion, but see that it's a little too restrictive, or if there's other areas of interest that you would like to explore. We definitely can discuss the possibility of you switching from energy conversion to the general MSME. This fall we'll be offering AME 430, AME 513, AME 525 or 526. Both of them are required for this program. AME 578, AME 581, ENE 505, and SAE 515. You can use the second link to view all of the required courses and the pre-approved list of electives for the program. Next, we have the Masters of Science in Aerospace Mechanical Engineering, Dynamics and Controls. This is another niche program and highly structured. The nice benefit is that your diploma will read Masters of Science in Aerospace Mechanical Engineering, and your transcripts will have the designation of the Dynamics and Controls emphasis. Requires 27 units, 7 required courses, and 2 free electives. So your electives do not have to be specifically specifically dynamics and controls related, they can be from any engineering department or other specialization within AME. Recommend getting your required courses out of the way before taking your electives. This program is highly sequential, so course sequencing is really important due to all of the prerequisite requirements. We will need to sit down and discuss this more in detail so that we can put together a course plan that allows you to meet all of those prerequisites in the manner in which they should be taken. This fall we will be offering AME 451. If you have not taken a linear control systems course in your undergrad, I highly recommend that you take 451 this fall. There are a lot more fall requirements for the Dynamics and Controls program, so you'll need to make sure that you get that out of the way as soon as possible. That way you can go on to take 541, and 541 is also needed for 552. So there's just a lot of prerequisites that you'll want to make sure that you are slotting everything in the correct semester. For the full list of required courses for this program, you can use that link. And then there's also some recommended electives, but again, you do have 2 free electives that can be used outside of Dynamics and Controls area. The other courses offered this fall, AME 521, 522, 524, 525, or 526. Both are required for this program, and AME 541. Next, we have the Masters of Science in Aerospace Mechanical Engineering, Computational Fluid and Solid Mechanics program. The diploma will read Aerospace Mechanical Engineering. Your transcripts will include the full title, which designates the Computational Fluid and Solid Mechanics emphasis. The program requires 27 units, 7 required courses, and 2 electives from a pre-approved list. So it's really structured, really strict. Recommend getting all of your required courses out of the way first, and then slotting in your electives as space becomes available. For this program, you can take CE 507 or AME 509. 507 is offered in the fall, and 509 is typically offered in the spring. So this gives you a little bit of flexibility when it comes to course planning. If you need an extra fall slot or an extra spring slot, you can use these 2 classes to kind of offset one. This fall, we will be offering AME 525 or 526. Both of them are required for this program. AME 404, AME 430, AME 535, AME 415, which I believe is currently full. If so, then you will need to plan to take it the next fall. Material Science 575, CE 507, CE 529A, and CE 541. You can use the link on the screen to view all of the required and pre-approved electives for this program. Next, we have the Masters of Science in Product Development Engineering Technology track. This is a collaborative program between the Industrial and Systems Engineering Department and the Aerospace Mechanical Engineering Department. I will be sending out information to all MSPDE students, but systems track students really should be working with Mary Ordaz and ISC, while I advise all of the technology track within AME. So there is a split. There's slight differences in the requirements for the systems and technology. So again, if you're going to be following the systems track, please be sure to work directly with Mary Ordaz. This program is structured, but it offers a little bit more flexibility than our other technical degrees. Requires 27 units. You have 4 required courses and 4 electives from a pre-approved list. You can take either AME, ISC, or SAE courses to satisfy your electives, and you can take a few more out-of-department classes than our other programs since it's a collaboration with the ISC department. This fall we will be offering AME 525 or 526. You only have to take one of them for this degree, so you definitely want to check out the course description and the syllabus for the courses to see which one you're more inclined to take. You have the choice. It's up to you. AME 503 is currently full, so we right now in the works of deciding whether or not we can offer it in the spring. I will be sending out more information within the next couple of weeks once that has been solidified. If we're not able to offer it in the spring, then you definitely can plan to take 503 either in the summer or the following fall semester. We're also offering ISC 545, AME 408, AME 410, AME 588, and ASTE 520. You can use the link there on the screen to review all of the requirements for both the product development, technology, and systems tracks. Lastly, we have our dual degree program. It is our newest program. It's about double the units of a traditional master, so you can expect that it's going to take about double the time to complete. You're looking at approximately 6 semesters if you're completing it full time, and anywhere from 8 to 16 semesters if you're completing at a part-time basis, so that's either 1 or 2 classes. It's 48 units to complete. We are waiving 1 course from the AME and 2 courses from ISC, so there is a little bit of savings of 3 courses, say if you were to instead do 2 separate master's degrees, so 1 master's in mechanical or aerospace and 1 master's in engineering management. So the 3 courses, it saves you about $16,000, which is kind of nice. So that is a nice incentive of the dual degree if you have the time to complete it. For students who are interested in engineering management but maybe don't have the time or the financial ability to complete the dual degree, you can always use your 3 electives for the MSME or MSAE in the ISC department. So you have 3 free electives for those degrees. You can take all 3 of them in ISC and take engineering management courses. While it won't give you a full emphasis in engineering management, at least it can give you a little bit of a taste and an introduction to those types of courses while completing just the general MSME or MSAE. Definitely touch bases with me if you'll be completing this degree so we can work out an effective course plan. It's a little bit more structured on the ISC side, so you'll want to make sure that you are talking with Mary Ordas and the ISC department to slot all of your courses accordingly. The degree requires 48 units, 18 units of AME coursework, 18 units of ISC coursework, and then 12 more units of electives approved by the AME or ISC department. No more than 5 classes for 15 units at the 400 level can be applied towards your degree. And you can see a full list of the courses that the ISC department will be offering. And then I highly encourage you to review the slides for the mechanical engineering or the aerospace to see which courses we'll be offering for the fall for the AME side of this dual degree program. You can use those links there to review the requirements for the program and also your required or elective courses. Okay, so next we're going to go over AME department policies, procedures, and tips. These have been over the years some of the hot topics, so we'll just go through them one by one. Masters with thesis option. So only about 1% of all of our students here at AME pursue a thesis option. It typically will require a minimum of 4 semesters to complete if you're doing the program full time. You should talk to me ideally during your first semester if this is what you're kind of thinking about, if you're interested in pursuing a thesis, because we'll need to outline exactly what the requirements are for a thesis and your next steps. We really recommend that students who are serious about a thesis secure a faculty advisor by the end of their first semester. That way they can start taking directed research in their second semester. Definitely contact me as soon as possible and we can kind of outline what this exactly would look like for you individually. Directed research, AME 590, is a good option if you're interested in research but don't want to complete a thesis. It allows you to work with the faculty to complete up to 3 units of directed research to count towards your degree. You will need to contact the faculty on your own and discuss an acceptable project that will constitute credit for AME 590. We have a lot of master's students that work here on campus in the labs, doing directed research. We can only apply 3 units of DR towards your degree, but you're more than welcome to volunteer on your own if you're really just looking to build that experience. Changing your major. We get a lot of questions about changes of majors. It's relatively simple. If you're changing within AME, you should let me know earlier on. That way I can recommend certain classes in preparation for the new major. We cannot officially change your major until you've completed your first semester. After your grades have posted, I will be looking for at least a 3.0. So you have to complete your first major, but you can start taking classes during your first semester in preparation for the new major. So just make sure that you talk to me. If you're thinking about switching to another department, you'll need to talk to that department directly. It's subject to their discretion. They'll be, looking at your background, your undergrad courses, any foundational courses that are needed, but also their class size and capacity. We don't have any say-so in your switch, so you just need to work with them directly. And also, ideally, early on, that way you can start taking courses during your first or second semester and plan for that new major. We recommend that students who are considered full-time take 3 courses a semester. 3 courses a semester is standard for full-time students, and it allows you to complete the program in 1.5 years. So if you start in fall, that means by the following fall, you are on track to graduate. So just 3 semesters if you complete the program full-time, and that's not including summers. We never recommend that students take more than 3 classes. It's just not recommended, and we really have seen students struggle when they try and take on more than 3 graduate level courses at a time. AME 525 and 526 are just about required for all of our majors. They are offered every semester, fall, spring, and summer. In the summer, they are offered in a fast-paced 6 weeks format. So, we don't recommend any summer vacations or internships if you're planning to do a summer course, just because of how intense the course is over the summer. And I really want to make sure that I reiterate that you really should not be taking 525 and 526 in the same semester. You need to break them up. They're probably 2 of our more challenging classes, so breaking them up gives you a little bit better chance of being successful, not only in the math class, but also the other classes that you're enrolled in. D-clearance for non-AME classes. So as an on-campus student, many classes will have D-clearance on it. That means that their department has chosen to manage their courses using D-clearance. You will need to use myviterbi.usc.edu for biomedical, BME, civil engineering, CE, electrical engineering, EE, computer science, CS, industrial and systems engineering, ISC, systems architecting engineering, SAE, and environmental, E&E. So all of these requests need to be done on myviterbi via the D-clearance and prerequisite request manager. You have to get D-clearance from the department that owns the course. So if you're trying to get into an astro class, I cannot give you D-clearance. You need to contact that department directly, and that's going to be every single semester. So it's just important to be mindful of that, and then also to submit those D-clearance requests maybe earlier on. That way you have D-clearance by the time your registration opens. Each semester I typically will send out a D-clearance and prerequisite waiver memo, giving you different dates and deadlines for the different departments, and also instructions on how to request D-clearance or prereq waivers. Prerequisite waivers for AME courses, you need to contact me directly. I can only waive prerequisites for AME courses, so you will need to email me your name, your USC ID number, the course that you're planning to register for, the prereq that has been listed on WebReg or the schedule of classes, and the course name and number that you feel satisfies that prerequisite. I'll need to have all of that information in order to process the prereq waiver. You can also see me in person to take care of it. I really recommend that you take a look at the USC schedule of classes for planning purposes. It offers class descriptions, prerequisites, recommended prep, the university calendar that I outlined earlier, session codes, whether or not a course is cross-listed, and then there's some important tools and icons so you can view syllabus for the course, the course materials, and important dates and deadlines. Most classes should have a syllabus, but I will be working with professors over the next couple of weeks to upload any outstanding ones. I always recommend that students go back a semester or a year to see if a syllabus has been posted for that previous time the course was offered. Most times course content does not change, just the date. So just to at least give you a starting point for more information about the course, I would recommend going back a year if it's not one currently posted. I highly recommend that you view our AME graduate advising worksheets. These are the sheets that I use to advise all of our students on degree requirements. The advising worksheets will list the recommended courses for each of the specializations that are reviewed earlier for the MSME and MSAE, and also all of the degree requirements and pre-approved electives for all of our other technical degrees. So, really useful tool. Next, I want to stress the importance of checking your emails. If you have another Gmail account, you can forward your USC email to that one. But all important information that goes out to you, either from the department or the university, will be sent directly to your university email. You will receive a high volume of emails from across the university, but I try and flag my advising emails as high priority, so at least attempt to read those ones. If you're forwarding to your personal account, please remember that all official correspondence must come from your USC email account. This will ensure privacy and confidentiality regarding, degree progress, your academic record, etc. We want to make sure that we're only sharing this personal information with you and not someone else who's not authorized. Always include your 10-digit USC ID number. The university has over 40,000 students, and you'd be surprised how many students have the same exact name. So this just allows us to process your request a lot more efficiently if we have that information in your original email. I want to highlight cross-listed courses. So there's a number of courses that are cross-listed, which means that you receive credit as AME, and they don't count against you as outside the department. So for the general mechanical and general aerospace, you're allowed no more than 3 courses outside the department. If you take a cross-listed class, this won't count against you. So say you take SAE 549, EE 543, or Material Science 561. These are just a few examples. If you take these courses, you're still allowed 3 more outside the department courses since these are treated as AME. And then lastly, there is a link for helpful math tutorials and other helpful workshops. I also encourage you to look at Khan Academy for tutorials for some math topics covered in AME 525 and 526. You can use it as a refresher if you want to go back and brush up on your calculus. Those are definitely good tools. So I just want to thank you for joining me today. I want to congratulate you again on being accepted to USC. I want you to know that this is no small feat, so we're just so happy to have you joining us. I look forward to meeting and talking with you all in the near future. I hope you have a wonderful fall semester, and fight on.